And what is going on, everybody? My name is Travis, and welcome to SF Bay Area Sports Talk. And what an absolutely incredibly frustrating way to essentially have your season end than the way the 49ers did today in a very winnable game. And this is just, I'm almost at a loss for words. The 49ers lose 41-33. And the story of this game, let's get right into it, is Nick Mullens and the inability to take care of the football. And I mean, all season, so many winnable games that, 8 games in a row, the 49ers have turned the ball over 2 or more times, and you cannot expect to win football games if you keep turning the ball over. And with Mullens, he does so in the most unfortunate circumstances, whether you're in the red zone, you're putting together a nice drive together and throws an interception. And, it is just frustrating. And, the last 2 weeks now, we've lost to Washington and Dallas, very winnable games, and we easily could still be in the playoff hunt. And now we're essentially having to digest the fact that, we are not going to go to the playoffs likely unless barring some miracle. Now let's get right into welcome into the show, everyone. We're going to do a quick post game today as I'm going to get to watching some of the other games today. We got Tyler Burbeck in the house. What is going on, Tyler? Hope you're doing well today. We got Cooked Highlights in the house. What is going on? Hope you're doing well and hope everyone's doing great today. We got apologize if I pronounce this wrong. Rymison. Can't believe it took Mullens to get injured for Bedford to come in. I turned away there the last minute or so of the game, but Bedford coming in there looked very good and throws the Hail Mary pass to Kendrick Bourne at the end of the game. That was incredible. And, I'm hoping that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to return next week. And really, at this point, you just want to finish the season strong these last 2 games against your division rival opponents. And that would be a great way to, build some confidence to go into next year, as the goal is going to be to get healthy so we can get right back to work to getting that elusive 6th Lombardi trophy. It is going to happen, and I'm calling it. It'll happen next year. I said it was going to be this year, but barring any injuries. So right now we're setting our sights on next season. I'm extremely upset that we haven't traded Nick Mullens. And, I think at this point, if we can trade Mullens, we have to, because, we've seen enough of him now, and, he's not going to be a solution as far as a long-term solution. And, like I've said, in my opinion, I believe you start Jimmy Garoppolo in the 2021 season, and you see how he does next year, and then you make adjustments depending on how he does. You evaluate at the end of next season. So in my opinion, I don't think you draft a quarterback just yet in next year's draft. I think you try to draft and improve this team, getting a cornerback or drafting an offensive lineman or doing getting an edge rusher, for the defensive line. So those are things I think you address in the draft, in the 2021 draft. And I think, if you go to draft a QB, I think 2022, you do that, and then you have them battle it out with Jimmy Garoppolo for the starting position there. Nothing more. Jimmy Garoppolo is a lot. It has been confirmed. Let's see. I'll have to get all of those updates on when Jimmy could return this season or not. Jimmy is a lot better at taking care of the football than Nick Mullens. I can't wait for Jimmy G to come back. Absolutely. And, you really take it for granted. Because when you watch Nick Mullens, and we've seen him now for, so many games this year start, I just hate having to sound like a broken record, but, it's the turnovers, and that's what really killed us. I mean, obviously the injuries this year killed us, but you look at so many losses that they were winnable games. And again, it comes down to this 49ers team. We've had several games that we've turned it over twice, 3, 4 times. and you just cannot keep doing that. And, again, today's game, you played well enough to win. I thought the offense did really good outside of those couple interceptions and then strip fumble that Mullins lost. He did put together 2 nice drives. So, I like that at that point in the game, we were coming back. You felt confident that we could take over this game. Defense was making some big stops and giving us an opportunity. And again, Mullins just cost us in the second half, throwing 2 interceptions. And the last one, to do it with 2.5 minutes left, you're down by 3 at that point. And it just, the game's over by then. The Cowboys get a touchdown. They go up by 10. 49ers do get a field goal to make it a 1-score game. But then the onside kick, obviously that goes out the window. And, just a really frustrating loss today. And, this is, I don't think any of us saw us being 5-9 at this point, but, we give ourselves credit for fighting through adversity and overcoming a lot this year to, again, still be in the playoff hunt for the last 3 games. It still was incredibly exciting till the very end. This team fought so hard, and, it's just, it really just sucks that, another year that we fall short of the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl. But, we're going to bounce back strong. And again, finishing the season strong is what we got to do. We don't really need an edge rusher, right? We've got Hyder, Bosa. Well, I mean, I still think, you can add another edge rusher to this defensive line. You have Solomon Thomas, you have Bosa, but D Ford is not going to be coming back, I think. So, not saying you use your first overall pick on an edge rusher, but, you can get a cornerback, you can get offensive linemen. So kind of a suggestion of ways you can go, but I don't think you draft a QB in the next year's draft just yet. So, but I mean, that's my opinion. So always appreciate everyone sharing your thoughts. And that's what we love to do here is, discuss and debate topics. And that's what's awesome. And so thank you. Thank you for that. Cooked highlights. Appreciate your insight. Mullins should have been benched after his first interception. I mean, to be fair, I don't think you bench a guy after throwing 1 interception, but I think, in the second half, maybe by the fourth quarter or so, you can make the argument to go to Bedford and, Kyle Shanahan. I don't really put too much, blame on Shanahan for not going to Bedford. I mean, Mullins, again, he put together 2 good drives in the game. So sometimes, you hope that the guy can find, locate that sharp focus to get him on track. And now, Fred Warner injury. Well, Fred Warner did return. I didn't hear if something came up after the game. So, hopefully nothing is too serious. And Jimmy Ward did have to leave the game also with a concussion. So praying that that's not going to be too serious. And Mostert with a high ankle injury. So Mostert, he's been battling that injury all year. And that was just a tough break for us because, when he had to leave the game, we could have really used them. But Jeff Wilson did come up with some big rushes today. So you love to see that. But, just a tough, all year with the injuries. It has just been not, it's just been tough. And I know this 49ers team has never made the excuse all year, about injuries. And, it's always been next man up mentality. And they've been playing so hard. And it's bittersweet to have this season come to an end essentially like this. And barring, of course, a miracle that we get back in it the last 2 games. And absolutely, always got to, think of the positives and moving forward and looking to the future. And do we have a star? Brandon Ayuk, man, I have been so incredibly impressed with the way he has played this year. He has been just absolutely incredible. I think defying anyone's expectations this year. I think he's got 600, 700 receiving yards on the season now. And another fabulous performance today with 9 catches for 76 yards and 1 touchdown. So just absolutely phenomenal performance for Brandon Ayuk. And, obviously, of course, we found out the unfortunate news last week that Deebo Samuel would have to miss the remainder of the season. And, we're all waiting for that moment when we can get all three of the Super Mario Yak brothers out there with George Kittle, with Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel. They are going to be absolutely unstoppable next season. And I cannot wait to be able to see them hopefully healthy for as many games as possible next year. Because I'm telling you, we are going to be lighting it up in the NFL next season. And once we get back to work. And so, yeah, right now we're going to look at the positives. And, a lot of players right now are playing for jobs for next season. So, there still is a lot to evaluate. The last 2 games of the year, and with us playing Arizona and Seattle, those are really good matchups to have to, again, kind of measure where you're at and, what we're thinking in certain position areas. And obviously, of course, the big one being evaluating Jimmy Garoppolo. Should he be able to return next week? And we can at least see him start 2 games and see how he does. And again, I think, let's say he does start 2 games. And, hypothetically, if he doesn't do well, I still think, you don't just because if he doesn't do well, not give him the job. In my opinion, I still believe you give him the job for 2021 to start out at least. And then from there, he has to earn it week by week based on his performance. So that's what I think you do. And, so that's going to be really big to see. And then, getting Kittle to come back. So, if we can knock off Arizona and Seattle, again, I think that just shows that we are ready once we can be fully healthy next season to get back on the mission that we fell short of last year, which is, of course, winning a Super Bowl. So we are going to get that 6th Lombardi. It is going to happen. We got Impossible checking in to the show. Welcome in. Hope you're doing very well today. So how long are the 49ers going to stand for practicing or playing at home? The county may tell them there's no end willing to stay. Hopefully that it doesn't get to be that serious. I think we're all hoping for the best that, that things are going to be good for next season. So we'll see what ends up happening. And we got Edward Ben checking in to the show. Welcome in. Hope you're doing very well today. It really sucks to see so many quarterbacks across the league. Oh, sorry, let me get some hydration real quick. So many quarterbacks across the league doing so much better than anyone on our roster. These QBs can literally take over a game. We still don't have that. And yeah, you hit the nail on the hammer, Edward. Absolutely. I agree with you. If we're being honest with ourselves in evaluating Mullins' performance this year, the honest truth is, he did not take advantage of this opportunity. The opportunity was his for the taking to show that he can lead this 49ers team to multiple victories and keep us in playoff position. And, with these 2 losses to Washington and Dallas and just too many interceptions for Mullins, I think 6 straight games he's thrown an interception. And the 49ers as a whole, as we've said, the last 8 games, 2 turnovers or more. So, you're just not going to win a lot of football games if you can keep turning the ball over. And, it's really unfortunate because if we have a veteran quarterback, behind Jimmy G, I think you put a veteran QB with this offense, with Mostert at running back, with the weapons we have, with Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Kittle, Hughes check out there. With all of that, I really think we would have pulled off a lot of victories this season. But being that we had a young, inexperienced quarterback in Mullins, he was our best option that we had. And Mullins did the best he could. And again, a lot of games he looked good at certain points in games and leading us on drives, but ultimately he just could not take care of the football, and the turnovers really cost us. And, we'll never know how this season could have gone if, we maybe have a veteran QB, someone that, again, they didn't need to be a lights off QB, just someone that can take care of the football. And again, Jimmy taking care of the football And, I think we really maybe took it for granted, because now with Mullins, it's really what has plagued us and has killed us in these games. And it's just been really tough to watch. Trade Nick Mullins for a first-round draft pick in this year's draft class. I mean, I would definitely pull that trade. I think that's a great idea, Tyler. If we can get someone to take us up on that offer, I'm all for trading Mullins, maybe even for a second-round pick. I think you can, I would still take a second-round pick for him. But so hopefully we'll try to field some calls. And, I wish Mullins all the best. And, I just don't think there will be a long-term future here with the 49ers. And, we don't know if he'll be back as the backup next year or not. So, definitely something to keep in mind. You're lagging a bit. Okay, so I apologize if the stream is lagging. Hopefully it doesn't lag behind too much. Mullins, yeah, he has welcome in Rob Iman to the show. So great to see you here as always. Mullins has regressed in the past few weeks, and yeah, you're absolutely right. And it sucks, we were all hoping that Mullins could, my hope was that he would get better by each week, and that some of these games, I really believe that he could lead us to victory and pull off these victories and, play much better than he has. And unfortunately, it just did not fall through the way how we envisioned it. And Mullins definitely has to bounce back. So let's see. Mullins is a unrestricted free agent this off season. So yeah, I really think with that being said, that chances are we may have seen the last of Mullins after this year, because I think, we've seen him now almost 15 starts. It is, I think, if you look at 2018, he had 7 starts. And yeah, I mean, he did very well with his opportunity in 2018. A lot of those games, I think, again, 2 years ago, we didn't expect anything out of him. But a lot of those games, 49ers were very close in them. And so with Mullins, it's just unfortunate that he took as many steps back as he has this year. CJ Beathard will likely start the last 2 weeks, and Josh Johnson might be dressed for next week. So, yeah, I think if Jimmy G does not return, I think that's what you got to do. You got to start CJ Beathard now. I think we have seen enough of Mullins, and, Beathard, again, he's another young quarterback that, when he's had some opportunities this year, you've really seen him do very well in a limited amount of playing time. The Eagles game is an example, and today in the few plays he had, did very well. So yeah, I think you evaluate CJ Beathard the last 2 games. If Jimmy G is not able to return, and then because Beathard, yeah, who knows what he can bring to the table. And so we'll see what can happen. But yeah, I definitely believe, in my opinion, Jimmy Garoppolo should be the starter for 2021, and you evaluate his performance at the end of next season and then go from there. Let's see. I love how you managed to stay positive despite the team's struggles. Thank you so much for this. Apologize if I pronounced your name wrong, Rymison. But I really appreciate this comment, because, I love to just tell it how it is. We got to be honest with ourselves when we're looking at our favorite team and seeing how they're playing. And, yeah, trust me, we all know that the horrible feeling of when you get eliminated from the playoffs, and it's bittersweet because, there's nothing like NFL playoff football. But when your team is in it, NFL playoff football is even more exciting. Seeing the potential matchups that your team could end up facing in the playoffs. And, so we always got to, always look forward to the future, learn, from our mistakes. And the 49ers certainly, will take a lot of growth in learning from this season. Again, going through so much adversity. So, I really think, of course, we got to be really proud of this team. And I know we all are, of how hard they fought all year, no matter what. And, so many other teams that would have easily given up. And this team could have easily went 2-14. It could have been one of those years. But, we won 5 games. We were in a lot of games. And, we swept the Rams this year, those 2 games, and against a team that is likely going to the playoffs. So again, we had some big moments this year to be excited about, and it just unfortunately didn't. I was hoping at least a wild card appearance, and then you never know where you could go. So okay, Rhyme Sikian. Nice. Okay. I honestly would keep Kittle and Jimmy G on ice for the final 2 games and regroup for 2021. Yeah, I think that is that's a smart idea. I'm right there with you, Rob. I think as much as we do want to see, let's say if Jimmy can come back by next week, and we want to see how he does. We don't maybe want to risk the chance that, say, he could get a severe injury and then that, possibly make him to miss time next season. And Kittle, same thing, because Kittle he has been battling a broken bone in his foot. So I think, if playoffs were still on the line, then yeah, I think absolutely send out Garoppolo, send out Kittle. But with the loss today and with us essentially being eliminated, I think, you're definitely I agree with you, Rob, and I love this take. Rest Jimmy G, rest Kittle, and then get back to work for 2021. And so we can definitely, let's see, I have written this year off. It's been a really crazy year. I'm pleased with our team overall. Number 5 defense through all of these injuries really lets you know how bad the offense is. Absolutely. This defense has been incredible this year. And, again, they said it on the broadcast, ranking top 5, top 10 in several major defensive categories all year. And really, this defense kept us in so many games, and in a lot of big games, they made stops against Seattle, against the Saints, against Washington, against, we can go on and on with the games we lost this year. Our defense kept us in the games. And with everything we lost, losing Bosa, losing Solomon Thomas, this defensive line still stepped up and we got performances. Kinlaw had an incredible rookie season. And yeah, I think really the story of this year, our offensive line was just terrible all year. And again, today they struggled again. The offensive line could not protect our quarterbacks if their lives depended on it. And yeah, the quarterback play, of course, with all the talent we had on offense and with the great defense we have, this team, really should have won a lot more games than we did. And I think that is what ultimately is so frustrating when we really look back at this season, is wondering what could have been. Because if this team slips in as a wild card, I really think they could have gone deep in the playoffs if you got some pieces healthy back with Garoppolo, Kittle coming back. That was what I was hoping for as a 49ers fan, and to have not played out. It's tough, but it makes me that much more hungry and excited for next season. And I know winning is going to be that much more sweeter. After having gone through this season. Garoppolo is great. O-line is not at this point. Keep Jimmy safe. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. As horrible as this offensive line has been playing, we don't need Jimmy Garoppolo getting hurt. I think, again, the plan is, go into 2021, start Jimmy Garoppolo. That is what I believe you do. And we'll see if that does happen. You never know where the 49ers could go. And, so yeah, it's going to be very intriguing, and we're all going to be on the edge of our seats waiting to find out what direction this team is going to go in at quarterback. If Jimmy G will indeed be the long-term solution, or if we will end up moving on to someone else. Not being able to play at Levi's also could be messing with the Niners' head. Yeah, I think absolutely. these two games, even the Buffalo game, we played, there were moments in that game that we did some good things. And yeah, anytime that you have to be put at a disadvantage like this and, relocate all the way to another state, it really can mess with you mentally. And, especially during these times. So, not to say that, again, obviously this Niners team we never make excuses for anything, but it obviously did not help us having to relocate. And this year, just so many things went wrong with this season, and it's just tough. Despite the injuries, Niners' biggest bright spot is the fifth best defense in the NFL. And honestly, I believe that the injuries to our offense really killed us. And absolutely, in the terms of that's what happened this year. The offense, the injuries, to Kittle, to Garoppolo, to Deebo Samuel, and it's just it just really, really hurt us. In the offensive line, we were missing a lot of guys too. We had many guys have to play different positions. Justin School today, I think he played his first game ever. I think it was at right guard. And so he had never done that till today. And one play in the game, he has a costly penalty there late in the game. We would have had a nice 7-yard pickup on first down. The penalty ends up pushing us back to a 2nd and 20. We're able to get a nice 10-yard reception, I believe, to Ayuk on the next play, which sets up 3rd and 10. So, yeah, the injuries really just have killed us. And, the goal is just going to be to get as healthy as possible and regroup for next season. If we win one more game, I'll be really happy. Yeah, absolutely. I would love to get a win, whether it's against Arizona or Seattle. That would be huge. And it would be great to give us some confidence to go into next season. We got Big E in the house. Appreciate you checking in always. You're the one Seahawks fan that has always stayed up to date on the channel. So shout out to you, Big E. Yeah, I know it is embarrassing today losing to the Cowboys. And, normally, I think, I am just, I'm just frustrated because I cannot stand losing to teams that I despise, like the Cowboys and, like our rivals, of course. So, so we're gonna bounce back. Got City Boys 415 checking in to the show. We need to pull a Warriors season, take it off, and get a higher draft pick. And it almost essentially is just like the Warriors. Warriors, of course, had devastating injuries last year with Curry and several other players. And so last year they ended up finishing with, one of the worst records in the league. But thankfully that ended up netting the Warriors James Wiseman, and the Warriors, I'm confident, are going to be competing for a championship this upcoming season, even despite the injury to Klay Thompson. So excited for all the basketball fans out there. We'll be doing some Warrior post games after every game this season. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you have your notification bell turned on if you haven't done so already. And 49ers got to do the same game plan. If we lose these last two games, I won't mind. Obviously, goal is to finish strong and to win these games. But if we can get another draft pick to add to this group, and of course, the season 2 years ago when we went 4-12 netted us Nick Bosa. So sometimes these things happen, and if this year wasn't going to be the year that we were meant to win the Super Bowl, then, I hope that means next season is the year we finally get that elusive 6th Lombardi trophy. So we will hope for the best. Losing, if or not. Yeah. So, it's going to be a tough matchup, but, just like the game in Seattle, we had a chance. So, I think it's unlikely we win, but, I'm just hoping it's a good game against you guys. So best of luck, to your Seahawks the rest of the year, Big E, and cannot wait for that last matchup with you guys. We lost both to Thomas. D Ford as well. So, I was mentioning some of the names on offense there, and we've lost, I think, 78 players on this season. I mean, you cannot even, it almost is not even believable when you think about how many guys we've lost to injury. And again, that's why I think we're so incredibly proud of this 49ers team, battling through all of that and going through all of that adversity. Oh man, that is incredible. Congratulations. Big shout out to San Jose State. San Jose State for winning the MWC. That is incredible. Big congrats out there. Let's see. We got Cool Like Sal. Apologize if I pronounced that wrong. You'll get it's all right. You'll get a higher draft pick and your players will be healthy. I can see the Niners first in the NFC next season, coming from a Seahawks fan. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for this comment. And I really, really appreciate comments like this because you are speaking from the honest truth from a non-biased perspective. And that's what I love in sports. Again, I always try to be honest with all of you guys and, being real. And I always really love and appreciate when someone from an opposing team, is honest. And yeah, you have to be realistic. I think a lot of teams in the NFC realize that they better watch out for this 49ers team next year because we get all of our guys back healthy and we're going to add another nice top draft pick. I mean, look at how much the additions of Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, some of these guys, these incredible offensive wide receivers, how much of a spark that they have been. So yeah, I truly believe this 49ers team will be in competition, competing for getting to the Super Bowl and being a top dog in the NFC. And coming from a Seahawks fan perspective, appreciate this comment. And, you guys always year in and year out are always competing and in the discussion, to compete for a Super Bowl. And so, yeah, with Russell Wilson at QB and everything the Seahawks do, man, as a 49ers fan, I love the rivalry with the Seahawks and competing against them. It is always some of the most spirited matchups. And really for me, this past, I'm sure, you're looking in the Colin Kaepernick era, obviously the NFC Championship game, the 49ers Seahawks rivalry has really actually sparked up here the last several years. I think because as we know, I mean, prior to the Russell Wilson era, the Seahawks pretty much have been a non-talked about team. They have not had a lot of winning seasons. So Wilson has put them back into discussion of appreciate that. You're more than most 49ers. Oh man, thank you so much again. Appreciate it always. You have to give it up for Kyle. Yeah, absolutely. Such an incredible year for Kyle Shanahan. Continuing. I mean, he is the master magician out there, with everything that he was dealt this season. Again, like I've said, this 49ers team easily could have went 2-14, 3-13, but, they never gave up the fight. They were in it, the playoff hunt all the way till the very end, the last 3 games essentially. And so Shanahan for us to be 5-9 and, for our defense to be a top 5 defense, just an incredible year. And this coaching staff, did such a good job keeping us in these games. And, again, it's just unfortunate that we couldn't at least get into the playoffs and see what we could have done. Got Thomas Grinelli checking in to the show. Welcome in. Hope everyone's doing fantastic today. Hope you're doing great, Thomas. Next year will be our playoff game. Yep, absolutely. I cannot wait for that. And hopefully we'll get a chance to get back to Levi Stadium for a playoff game. I absolutely would love that. And hopefully to meet some of you guys at future 49er games. That is going to be really exciting, when, of course, everything clears up and it's safe to go to games again. So, man, nothing beats going to a 49ers playoff game. And if anyone has not been to one, really try to bet the best you can to save up some money, to put it on your bucket list, do whatever you got to do, to go to a playoff game. It is truly an incredible experience, and there's nothing like that atmosphere and that decibel level from the noise. I mean, that's what I love about sports. People some people, and they like to say they like to watch the game on TV, but you almost cannot beat what it's like. Yeah, you on TV you see plays probably more clearly, but in person, there's nothing like it. So just incredible. 49ers fan, and I respect the Seahawks. Want them to beat the Rams, and yeah, always got to be realistic, and the Seahawks. I give my respect to them. So they have been a competitive team, and they always compete. And yeah, I mean, I always root against them. So no matter what. So that's a tough one though, because we don't like the Rams or the Seahawks, and of course, being a Giants fan, despise all LA teams, and with the Rams now being in LA. But yeah, so that's a tough one. Whether to root, I don't even know who to root in that case. Seahawks, Rams, but I would probably go Rams just because I just cannot stand Seattle. But that's in a good way. Usually, if you're saying that, it means that the rivalry is intense and very competitive. And yeah, I mean, it breaks my heart that we lost to them in the NFC title game, the Sherman interception of Crabtree. If Saleh goes, I hope it becomes a 3-4 defense again. Yeah, something to keep in mind of what type of defensive schemes this Niners team will be running. If Robert Saleh does end up becoming a head coach, I would love to see Saleh back for another year, but as brilliant of a mind he has, I think I wouldn't be surprised if a team gets him as a head coach for next year. So as a 49ers fan, I hope it doesn't happen for our sake, that he can come back as defensive coordinator. But yeah, that is something to keep in mind, and we'll see what can happen. If we won, I'd actually feel confident about today, because the Eagles, oh man, that's what makes it even more bittersweet. The loss today, is that, yeah, I mean, I was thinking the same thing. Okay, we get this win against the Cowboys. Eagles somehow pull out the win against Arizona. Arizona still has to play us and the Rams at the end of the year. We can still get in the playoffs. And then, no, 49ers, we aren't able to beat Dallas. And so, yeah, I mean, again, I don't even know what percentage we have of making the playoffs now. Of if we finish 7-9, I think at that point, I think with the Bears winning today, that would probably mean that the Bears would have to lose out. Arizona would have to lose out. Well, let's see. Actually, yeah, I mean, Arizona, yeah, they would have to lose out. That would be, I guess, the only chance we would have. But yeah, it's just, we'll see what can happen, but it's tough. We cannot waste our weapons on a quarterback that can't utilize them to the fullest. Quarterback position has changed. We will see the type of quarterbacks who have we all see this, the type of quarterbacks who have success in this league today. And yeah, I mean, as a 49ers fan and as a football fan, seeing all the different quarterbacks in the league today, I feel like what we have seen the last few years is, the need, or getting a mobile quarterback and the threat that they can bring to the table is really incredible. Because, with mobile quarterbacks, something to keep in mind is a lot of them, they have strong arms, so they can make, difficult throws on the run. And since they're so athletic, they can escape the pocket, which opens up, keeps plays alive. And if the receivers can get open, get free from defenders, these little windows of opportunity can end up creating big explosive plays. And yeah, there's so much value if you're a mobile quarterback, because yeah, you can keep plays alive outside the pocket. But a quarterback that is more a mobile, pocket quarterback, there are some disadvantages, because yeah, I mean, if you don't have the speed to escape the pocket or escape blitzes sometimes, so I think seeing Kyler Murray, a young quarterback, and how well he's been able to do. And of course, we've seen for several years Russell Wilson. I think we realized that, yeah, I mean, having a mobile quarterback is huge in today's game. And, the more attributes a QB has, the better. If they can make the big throws, be accurate, take care of the football. So, yeah, but Jimmy Garoppolo, again, he is a guy that, he's not necessarily the biggest guy in terms of running, a mobile quarterback, but I mean, sometimes he can run a little bit and keep plays alive and, makes those throws in the pocket. And, so Garoppolo is still developing, but you're seeing across the league today the explosive QBs and a lot of exciting young quarterbacks. Justin Herbert with the Chargers, and he's looked impressive a little bit here. If CJ somehow manages to win these next two games, it'll make you wonder what if. I think absolutely. And I do think CJ could definitely lead us to victory, knock off Arizona, knock off Seattle. And if he does that, we would be probably asking ourselves, if only we had gone to CJ sooner, maybe even by the Dallas game, because, if we, again, barring what happens in the Philadelphia Arizona game today, but like all things in life, sometimes when things happen, the only thing that you can control is how you respond to what happens. So that's, I think, sometimes it can be fun to play the what if game, to wonder what if, and, it's always fun to do that as fans. And, obviously one of the famous what ifs we know is what if we would have drafted Aaron Rodgers with that number 1 pick instead of Alex Smith. But, then you never know if we would have had this success and in the Jim Harbaugh era and did some of those things that we did. So, yeah, that's what's always intriguing about life. You never know what the future holds. You always hope for the best and you work as hard as you can. And yeah, that's what this 49ers team is going to continue to do moving forward. And so, but man, just awesome takes. Appreciate everyone with these great takes. I love when we can discuss and have such fun, in-depth conversations like this. So we're going to be wrapping up the show here. See you guys. I had so much fun. The show is going over what I thought we were going to do here. So that's what I love. All the football fans, all the 49ers faithful out there, thank you so much. So before we wrap up the stream, again, I wanted to go over some of the more some of the stats from today. So again, the running game was effective today. Mostert had 68 rushing yards on 14 carries for 4.9 yards average a carry. And again, unfortunately, he did have to leave due to a high ankle injury. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. And, again, maybe even just shut him down the rest of the last two games. Because again, I think as we've discussed, I don't think there's any reason to try to have some of these guys that are going to be key parts of this team next year potentially get hurt for playing in these last two games. So yeah, Mostert, just get healthy, be ready to come back for 2021. Let me hydrate real quick first. Let's see. Yeah, 11 days until, I just want to be on to next season. Obviously, free agency, that's when after the Super Bowl, and then, free agency kicks off, then you start seeing some of the names you bring in. So, yeah, we're going to be feeling all those great vibes that we felt, heading into this season. And yeah, we will get right back at it and try to get that elusive 6th Lombardi trophy. It is going to happen sooner rather than later. I'm calling it. Next season, we will do it. Believe me, Kyle has not started CJ for a reason. We've seen CJ. You can't go by a spark at the end of a game. Yeah, so I think, I think that's a great take here. I think, in my opinion, I think, when you're looking at these quarterbacks, I think there's arguments that can be made on both sides on whether to start Mullins next week or CJ. And so yeah, I mean, it'll be intriguing to see what ends up happening. And, with CJ, yeah, again, I don't think we've seen a big enough sample size and what he can do. So, we need to see more of CJ. And with Mullins, again, I think we've seen enough. So I feel like at this point, if you have nothing to lose the last two games, why not go with CJ to evaluate what you have? But, we'll see what could end up happening. Let's see, got the update. Wow, Jets beating the Rams 23-10. That is a shocker, and that is not good for the Rams. I mean, you want to be playing your best football this time of year before you head into the playoffs, and to be playing that bad against a horrible Jets team. So yeah, I mean, of course, I'm happy that the Rams are losing like that. But yeah, for the Rams, they seem like they're not going to be a team to worry about in the playoffs for anyone in the NFC. Yeah, but more likely will not. Yeah, so yeah, all we can do is hope for the best moving forward. And so, yeah, also continuing to break down the performances today. Jeff Wilson Jr., a nice running game, had 60 rushing yards on 16 carries. Also had a rushing touchdown today. And in the receiving game, Brandon Ayuk, another incredible game. And what an incredible rookie season Brandon Ayuk has been having. It has just been incredible. I think he's got 700 receiving yards now. Today, he had 9 catches for 76 receiving yards with 1 touchdown. You had Kendrick Bourne with 4 catches for 86 yards today. And Richie James getting in on the action with 4 catches for 56 yards. So, yeah, this offense today, put together some good drives. Mullins had, just 2 good drives. There wasn't a whole lot, but the turnovers was the story of today. But yeah, the running game did effective. We had some playmakers on offense. Yeah, you're right. I should not be jinxing the Jets there because, it's still very early in that game. Excuse me. That's what I'm saying. So, the Rams and then man, so I'm starting to wonder if rumors are true. Is Kyle practicing too hard? Why so many injuries? Oh man, I mean, this take, I mean, I don't know too much about it, so I can't say that for sure, obviously, but as fans, I think we can all we can all debate and question sometimes, but I think, to be fair, in my opinion, I think Shanahan does a good job of, not overtaxing players in practice. But again, who knows? Maybe even if it's just turning it down a little bit in practice, I don't know. But it's hard to explain why the injuries. I don't know if it's maybe the conditioning, the coaches. Because I mean, for us to have had this many injuries, I mean, I know that one of the reasons we speculated was, that due to no training camp this year and not a whole lot of reps that players got to have with each other, that obviously they weren't prepared, for obviously the impact of getting tackled, so yeah, I mean, I think there were just way too many injuries. Even if you didn't have training camp, other teams around the league have had injuries, but nobody has had them like we have. So again, I don't know what the explanation is for that. But yeah, it is something that we need to get to the bottom of, because we cannot be having these things continue to happen, because this team, again, was a team that, in my opinion, had what it took to go to the Super Bowl this year and win a Super Bowl if we could have been healthy this season. And so yeah, health is the most important thing, and making sure, conditioning wise, that you're putting in the necessary work in the off season to prepare yourself and prepare your body, both physically and mentally, to be able to withstand those big hits that these football players constantly take. And yeah, every time I'm watching football, I tip my cap off to these guys out there playing this game, which is such an incredibly physical game out there. And, to do it for all of us football fans, we really appreciate, and the sacrifices that these players make going out there and, doing what they do. And so, yeah, continuing to break down this game, again, another great performance by the defense, and Eric Armstead, another phenomenal game. And I absolutely love the signing extension we gave him in the offseason. I think it was 5 years for $120 million, and Armstead, or I think it was 80 or 90 million, but Armstead has been making every penny of that contract worth it this year. Today, he was the leading 49ers tackler with 5 tackles and had 2 big sacks. They were absolutely huge. Armstead is hungry, getting after it, and so loved it. And then you had Tavarius Moore, the safety today, with 4 tackles, and he did leave the game due to injury at one point, but then was able to return. So that was incredibly encouraging. Great game for Tavarius Moore. And Dre Greenlaw, the phenomenal linebacker, of course, we'll forever remember him for making the stop at the 1-yard line against the Seahawks last year in that decisive game that decided the NFC West division title. Greenlaw with 3 tackles today. The best linebacker in football, Fred Warner, he had 3 tackles today. Kerry Hyder, another phenomenal signing from the offseason. Former Cowboy getting after it today with 3 tackles against his former team. And in my opinion, Kerry Hyder is a must re-sign for this 49ers team in the offseason. He has done so well for us, and with all the injuries, to be able to help on that defensive line and on this defense, that is huge from Kerry Hyder. In my opinion, bring him back next season. Must re-sign. Jimmy Ward with 3 tackles, and another player that unfortunately today had to leave due to injury. So praying it is nothing too serious there. Ward was battling a concussion from the hit, as you saw in the game. So, man, so many injuries. And right now we're just praying that nothing too serious. And with there being just a couple games left, just stay as healthy as possible and regroup and get ready for next season. Armstead, he's been decent. So maybe not necessarily a big year, but yeah, he has been putting in work lately. So definitely has improved from, where he started out in this season. The Greenlaw stop was my favorite play of the year behind Kittle in the New Orleans game. Oh yeah, absolutely phenomenal. I think, that Kittle performance, that specific play, I think it was 4th and 2. Again, we were down 40. Yeah, was it? We were down by 2 at that point. I think 46-44. And, man, just an incredible play. It took literally almost the entire Saints defense to bring him down, like literally 4 or 5 guys trying to tackle Kittle. And so Kittle is absolutely not only the best tight end in football, but in my opinion, Kittle is the best player in the NFL right now, for what he does on the field, his run blocking abilities, his ability, with the football in his hands and in the receiving game. So Kittle, he is absolutely lighting up the stat sheet, and no one is playing on that kind of a level right now, man. So a lot of great memories from last year, and really, hopefully, again, next year we can get back to making some of those memories again, because I think last season we had, again, similar expectations going into the year. But, I think last year we were hoping to make the playoffs and, have gone to the Super Bowl. We went 13-3. It was an incredible ride last year. And again, I think we all thought that we could replicate that success and do the same thing this season. And, the injuries prevented us from doing that, unfortunately. So, we're going to regroup. We got to bounce back, and I cannot wait for next season. We will get back to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. That is the goal. And so to get healthy and, to regroup. So we got this. And, we're going to be wrapping up today's post-game show today. And so quick summary on the game. Again, really the story of this game is we could not take care of the football. The interceptions killed us in this game. 2 turnovers early in the game led to Dallas to get out to a 14-point lead. And give us some credit. We fought back in this game. A couple of great drives from Mullins, and we were able to tie the game at 17. The defense had another great game today, keeping us in this game. Defense has been phenomenal this year, a top 5 defense. And at the end of the game, Mullins throws the interception with 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Cowboys get a touchdown. They go up by 10, and pretty much that puts the game away, and the 49ers offensive line continued to struggle. And that is a glaring hole and a glaring need for this team going into next year. They have to improve the offensive line. That is an absolute must. And so, yeah, I mean, really, to recap again, I think when, we're not going to hang our heads down too low, because, there's a lot to be optimistic and excited about the future. And so that's what I think we got to do is just look forward to the future and the excitement of what's to come. And so, yeah, let's finish the season strong and come back ready for next year. And so with that being said, yeah, and I mean, I'm incredibly proud of how this 49ers team fought all year. Again, this team could have easily gave up. We could have been 2-14, 3-13, but they kept fighting week after week, and we almost could have won the Seattle game, the Saints game, and we swept the Rams. So there were some big moments this year, some games to be excited about, and some wins that kept us alive, kept us in the playoff chase. So, yeah, overall, I think we have to be proud of this team for all the adversity. And I know when you come short of the playoffs, it doesn't feel like it was a successful year. But I think with, again, all the adversity, really incredible resilience from this 49ers team. And I think they're going to be so hungry to get back after it next year. So that is what I absolutely cannot wait, and to be here breaking it all down with all of you. So, again, with that being said, we are going to wrap up the show today. And thank you so much, everyone, checking into the stream. And if you haven't done so, hit that like button. It really helps out the channel big time. It goes like, subscribe, bell button, all. Like, subscribe, bell button, all. That is the motto. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest breaking news, especially for your San Francisco 49ers. So again, thank you so much, everyone. I say it all the time, but I really mean it. Your support, all of you, each and every one of you, has been incredible. All the engagement, the noise that you guys are making on these streams, these videos, it means so much to me, and it really, really helps out the channel big time. So thank you so much again. Really appreciate all of you. And until next time, we'll see you all back here at SF Bay Area Sports Talk. Have a fantastic rest of your day, everyone. Go Niners! Let's go Niners! We are going to get after it next season. 6th Lombardi Trophy will be ours. Let's keep the faith. As always, everyone, we'll see you later. Have a fantastic day. All right. Take care, everyone. Go Niners! Woo!